Well, hello. There seemed to be a bit of a glitch there, I believe. Hopefully, I am live streaming now on Facebook. Seem to be just on a group. So hopefully now we're live. I guess somebody will tell me if we are. So I kind of thought that I had added a couple of groups to the live and I seem to have lost it. So anyway, I'll quickly do a recap here. We are live today. Thank you for coming. Hopefully this is now working. Are we live? Are we live? Sorry, I apologize. And we have two things going on today. We have Kizer Bender and Baum. They are marketing anthropologists that are going to be live with us in a little bit. I'm just going to share a few things with you at first, just a couple of tips. If you can make sure that you like and comment and ask questions during the live, that would be great. And then that way we can answer your questions during the live. We're live every Thursday at 1 p.m. We also want to make sure that you check out our YouTube channel. Some of the people said that they're not able to view it at the time it's on. So we do have a YouTube channel and we'll put the link there. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell because then you will get notifications of it. Also, we'll give you some more information. We have all the information about our Pin It Canada virtual event, live virtual event on our website, and I will talk about that a little bit later. Today, I wanted to talk to you or introduce our special guests. We have Kizer Bender and Baum with us today. Rich Kizer and Kizer Bender are consumer anthropologists, keynote speakers, author consultants, who have helped thousands of businesses since 1990. They are contributors to the MSNBC's Your Business Made Meeting and Convention magazine list of meeting planners, favorite keynote speakers, and they have been named two of the retail's most influential people. Also today we have Jason Baum with us. He serves as the Director of Marketing and Operations for the Association of Creative Industries, and which is AFCI. Many of you are members of that and know that as well. It's an international not-for-profit trade association consisting of thousands of members of companies engaged in the design, manufacture, distributing, and retail sales for craft products worldwide. Anyway, welcome. We seem to be having a bit of a glitch. A couple of people are telling me that we are not live on Facebook, but others are saying we are. So let's just go with it and welcome. I'm really glad that you guys are here joining me today.
Do you have Rich? Rich is in the waiting room too.
No, I don't see him there. Oh, okay. There he is.
Yeah.
He just arrived.
Hi, Audrey.
You are live on Facebook. I had to shut my app and reopen it. But
oh, perfect. That's good to know. Well, people have been commenting and saying, oh, I don't see it. It's not live. So I kind of went off and came back on. So there'll be just a little bit of and we're going to show the video at the end for everybody who would like to see Cindy Ohama's video. So welcome. This is awesome, guys.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for having us.
I'm in.
I mentioned about the three of you and what each individual that you do, but also Kizer Bender and Baum are the masterminds behind the Retail Adventures podcast. And each week you share what retailers are doing out there. Is that correct?
We do. We talk about what's happening in the retail world. We talk about what's going on in stores, what's happening with consumers, what's happening with COVID-19. You name it, we talk about it if it has anything to do with retail whatsoever or consumers.
Or consumers, exactly.
Yeah.
And we have fun doing it. We usually have some other things we talk about too that don't have anything to do with retail. Usually there's a nugget or two of wisdom in there.
And usually I sing something badly.
Yeah, lots of jingles lately.
And I usually misspeak and get corrected by Georgianne.
Yeah, well,
I bring my role in this whole thing is the older wisdom of the ages in retail.
Ah, yes.
Okay,
We-
there's this week's T-shirt. Every week, Audrey, we have a T-shirt. And Rich always gives us the slogan, and that's going to be this week's. I bring the older wisdom.
The older wisdom.
So what do you have for us today? What's our discussion?
You know, we have been under quarantine like everybody else, but we've also had the opportunity to go out into the world and see what it's like for shopping wise, and we're finding that consumers like us can't wait to get back into stores. We have had enough of this isolation, and we don't know how much longer it's going to go on depending on where you are. Rich and I are in Chicago. Jason is in the epicenter in New York. You're in Canada. And people are, I went to a shopping center in Wisconsin a week and a half ago, and the department store that I went to was packed, and people were carrying bags. They were shopping. And so I think we're anxious to get back.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like there's a storm warning here, folks, and there's a tidal wave coming. And that tidal wave is, I think, an aggressive, want to go shopping consumer. In the stores that we've been talking to now for the last day and a half, 2 days, man, they've been reporting great sales efforts coming on and beating last year, or at least meeting some of those sales. I think those are people that are really ready, willing, and able to do it. I think the critical point is that the store's got to be ready. The store has got to be better than they remember, because they're going to be out and looking at everybody again. So you want to be in the top of the game, playing the ace.
Well, we're talking to consumers here, and they have certain expectations. I mean, Jason, you have been hauled, inside your house longer than any of us. What are you looking forward to when you can finally start to move about the country?
Yeah, so most people have like these Zoom virtual backgrounds. I put on this virtual face. My beard is actually all the way down to the floor right now from being inside so I'm starting to look like Tom Hanks in Castaway, or at least that's how I feel. But yeah, I mean, especially like where I am, I think we're, it's not like we're just all automatically flipping a switch and now we feel comfortable going shopping. Yeah. I think we're looking for the stores that are going to make us feel safe and let us know that it's okay to come out. We're doing all these exciting things, and here's what we're going to do to make sure you're staying safe. And those are the ones we're going to, the Simon properties, the Simon malls are the largest, right? You guys can correct me,
yes,
George and Rich, but I'm pretty sure they're the largest, mall properties. And they have, where I am, the Garden State Plaza in Paramus, New Jersey. It's one of the largest, it is the largest shopping mall in New Jersey, with the exception of the American Dream, which has been being built now for 17 years and was set to open in March of 2020. So
I just want to stop here because we're talking to a lot of people who are in Canada as well. Tell us about the American Dream.
So the American Dream, this is a mall project that has gone under many, many different names. Way back when it was actually going to be called, I think it was owned by the Izod people, and then it was something else. But it's been in the making for 17 years now. That's how long this mall has been being built. And it was finally set to open in March of 2020. It was purchased by the Mall of America folks, by the company that owns the Mall of America properties. And it has an indoor ski slope. It has indoor ice skating rink. It has an indoor theme park. And I mean, like, legit. It is a Nickelodeon theme park. It is larger than the one in Mall of America, if you've ever been there. And there's also the DreamWorks Water Park, which is the largest indoor water park in the United States. Amazing.
Can't use now.
And where is this?
It's just going to keep sitting.
It is in.
It's actually right in. It's in East Rutherford, New Jersey, right next to the MetLife Stadium. So if you watch any of American football, the New York Giants and the New York Jets, it's also right in my backyard, and it has been sitting there and will continue to sit there.
Oh,
but
wow.
The Garden State Plaza Mall, going back to what I was saying, they are a huge property, and now they're doing curbside pickup at the mall. And this is an impressive thing for this mall, because on a given day in a normal environment, the traffic is unbelievable at this mall. I mean, I once sat in traffic for 3 hours leaving a movie because I decided to go on what was it, the day after Christmas to see a movie like the rest of the world, and I sat in 3 hours in my car. But anyway, so now they're trying to do curbside pickup at this mall. And it's a process, but you know what? They're starting to figure it out. And, you know, they have little zones that you pull up to, and you call ahead and let them know, you know, what you're there for. You purchase the item on their website, you call ahead. Once you're at the curbside, you call again. You have a specific zone. Like I'm in green A, almost like the airport pickup these days.
Yeah.
And they'll bring the product to you. And you know what? It's starting to work.
It's, you know, retailers are doing everything they possibly can to make it easy on us consumers to shop, right? And people are doing shows like you're doing, Audrey, but they're doing it to sell their product live on Facebook. And some of them are, we don't expect any of them to be Spielberg, but some of them are QVC level. And the backgrounds aren't anything. They aren't big studio setups like my fabulous home that you see behind me, which is actually there's actually a blank wall behind me. And this is one of those set settings. But, you know, they're in their stores. They're not spending big money to do it. It's their personalities, and they're showing the merchandise, and customers are responding.
Well, and what a great time. What a great time to do these things. You know, they're coming out now, and they're going to be judge and jury. And you know what? You were finding ways to do business. We didn't think we would do business like this.
Yeah.
And we're finding out that the customer is okay with it. And that's an amazingly opportune time if you're a retailer today.
You know, I'm not crazy about ordering my groceries online. I'll do it, you know, through Instacart to have somebody pick them and deliver them. I still can't wait to go back into a grocery store and choose my own tomatoes. And in Illinois, we have the ability to do that. I can't do it right now because we have a new baby coming on Monday. So my husband and I are quarantining so we can see our grandbaby. But I want the tactical. I want to go into stores and touch the merchandise and pick things up. And I don't know whether I'll be able to try on clothing or not. I don't know how much, you know, leniency I'll have in the stores that I go into, but I'm itching to get back to shop. And I bet your viewers are too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think it, you know, depending on where they're located, but most of them, you know, are in locations where they're able to shop, but you know, it's just, there's limitations, of course.
Yeah. 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 You know, what did you say the other day, Jason, that you finally got to go to a hardware store to pick up mulch?
Well, I was saying how excited, on the podcast, I was just saying how excited I am to finally be able to get out and get mulch for my garden that's in the front, because these are just little things, especially being home. It's like we're just picking up on all the little projects and things that we need to do. You know, so we placed an order for Lowe's now that they're doing delivery or curbside pickup. And our curbside pickup, you know, it's going to take about a week and a half to fulfill the order. And I guess, you know, we could get upset about the fact that it's going to take a week and a half. But then again, Lowe's has never done this before. You know, they've had curbside pickup, at least here, for grocery stores now for quite a while. But those types of things just didn't exist with certain stores. And this is brand new for them too. And they're inundated with people who want to do the same thing. So I think we have to be patient while the stores pivot, which is, you know, that's like the key word of 2020 is pivot. And it's just going to constantly change. You guys coined a term, the now normal, right? Because you should tell everybody what that is. It's genius.
Well, you know, you read about people talking about we're in the new normal. No, we're not. We're not going to be in the new normal for a long time, maybe not until 2021. So Rich and I have coined it the now normal. And if you're not happy with what's going on right now, stick around because it'll be different in 24 hours. And that's true. You know, one of the things that Rich and Jason and I have been keeping up with is, you know, what's going on with the different province guidelines, what's going on with the different state guidelines. Some of them are, drilled down to community. So your province might say you can do one thing, but the town that your business is in might say something completely different. And that's frustrating to consumers because they travel 10 miles to another city and they weren't required to wear a mask in one city, but they are required to wear it in another city. And unfortunately, in some cases, they're taking it out on the retailer.
Mhm.
And the retailers right now are under intense pressure. Their stores have been closed. They're trying to reopen and make their stores pretty and the merchandise wonderful because they want to welcome their customers back again. But at the same time, they have to worry about sanitizing stations and are people wearing masks and have they wiped everything down and how many fitting rooms can I use? And it's a high stress level. They want to care for their customers, but there's this whole added layer of here's what you got to do right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and
we
it
have to be
changes day
patient.
to day, right? Like, every day there's a new regulation out, or like I know here in Canada this week, they were supposed to allow us to go in to larger groups, like 10 to 15 people, 3 households, all that sort of thing. So that was going through. And then at the beginning of the week, they said, nope, we're not going to do that. We're kind of saying, let's stick with the way we're doing it for another 2 weeks. So, you think that they're going to make the changes because you're going into the next phase, but then they,
They're not.
they kind of backtrack on you. So, yeah.
So all those family trips that you had planned to get together, you can't do right now?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
You know what I want to do? I want to hug my children.
Yeah.
One lives 5 miles away, one lives 3 miles away. And I haven't been able to see them or, from a distance closer than 6 feet for 90 days, it feels like. So
yeah. It's
I'm
difficult,
ready for
that's
that.
for sure.
At least we're in a world where we could do this. Could you
Yeah,
imagine if we didn't have this? If
Yeah,
we didn't
try
have the
talking-
ability to do this.
Yeah.
Try
We've
talking to
certainly
a
learned
4-year-old on Zoom. Doesn't work.
At least you get to see them.
Yeah, I get to see them run by.
Yeah.
Bye, Nana. See you later.
Well, it's now another channel. I mean, we're getting better in social media. Everything is changing. I had a conversation with a retailer and he was complaining. He said, now they want this and now they want that. And he threw his hands up in the air and he said, I don't know if I want this. And I looked at him and I said, really, you're not an idiot, but you are. And he looked at me and I said, all these changes, you ought to be sitting down and learning every one of these opportunities on the net. You need to take a look at the inside of your store and compare it to other stores that you're competing with, because the world, this now normal is not stagnant. It's rapid. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be some tombstones and there's going to be a lot of winners in this. I promise you, there'll be a lot of winners and a lot of happy manufacturers, but it's not going to happen overnight, but it will come.
And those retailers need to talk to their customers and find out, these customers are coming in or they're getting ready to come back in. What do they want? What are the things that when I come to shop at your craft store after you finally reopen, what are the things that the customer likes and the things that the customer, really, people might be doing things in stores that consumers don't care about. Like right now, I like curb service for some things. I like that in your case, Jason, that I could go to a big store and have them automatically come load those heavy things into my car. I don't have to go through the aisles to do that. But, other things and it's important to tell retailers the things that you like and the things that you would like to see them do and the kinds of classes you would like them to hold and the kinds of events that you want them to hold in the future when things open up a little bit more. As a consumer, you can be a partner to your favorite retailers. Most people don't tell them what they think, but you tell them what you think because they're listening right now, big time.
On the podcast, you guys, and I mean, just in general, you guys talk about how retailers need to be in tune with the community. And I think and it works the other way too. In the community, you need to support your local retailer, and telling them those things that they might not necessarily know, I think is really important.
Right. We had a conversation I had a conversation the other day on, and you guys see if you agree with me, on Facebook with some friends. And you know how you get the posts every once in a while, you know, don't shop at this store, don't do that. And they were talking about not shopping at the big boxes. Let's support independent retailers. We love independent retailers. Our business for 30 years has been built around independent retailers. And we want everybody to shop local, shop small, shop independent. I want you to know that. But on the other hand, there's a place for big boxes. There's a place for Walmart. In the States, there'd be a lot of people that wouldn't have food if it wasn't for Walmart, because those are the companies that are bringing in the products, that are finding new sources, that are bringing in things in huge quantities that your local independent grocer probably cannot. So in times like this, they both serve a purpose, and we have to support both of them. But certainly indies, right?
Exactly.
Certainly indies.
But I think, like you said before too, like the retailers and different businesses, they've just had to adapt to the situation. You know,
Yeah.
they had to change the way that they do business, or, you know, it's almost like in some cases, like myself, you almost start a new business because all of a sudden you have this online presence, you know, that you didn't have before. So definitely that's a place where a lot of people have gone to, and it's a huge learning curve. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about some of the unique things that we've seen retailers doing to make sure that people adhere to social distancing?
You mean like the boxes on the floor, and
Yeah.
closing the fitting rooms, and
My favorite is the inner tube on a metal chassis with wheels that people have to get into to make sure that you're.
That's in a restaurant. So
Yeah.
right, it's like this giant inner tube, and you sit in it like those little bumper things that we would have we put our kids in so that they
A
can
walker.
walk and not fall over.
The water slide.
Yeah, I saw one the other day. I think it was in France, and they have these giant plexiglass lampshades. So you go to a table at a restaurant, you sit down, and this lampshade gets pulled over your head. It comes to about here, and you're sitting inside this big plastic lampshade, and you eat your food inside there. So you're surrounded by plexiglass on all sides. And Rich said to me, "Yeah, that's brilliant, Bender. I'd hate to be the person who has to clean that after every single customer."
Think about it. I mean, think about it.
It'd be a mess. How about the hair salon there was a hair salon in Kansas City, I think, that they could open up for. They couldn't open their salon, but they had the ability to sell outside. So what they did was they went out into the parking lot, and every other parking space became a station for a hairdresser, and they put curtains in between and curtains behind them, and they set up their stations in there, and they could do everything except trim beards, because you can't take your mask off. People are creative.
Very creative.
People are creative.
That's for sure. So, well, this has been great. Any last tidbits of information or a story that you want to share with everybody at this time? Rich, you always have a story.
Most of them you can't tell on air, though.
Yeah.
My retailing coming and goings. We had a nice conversation today with a lady that's doing something wonderful, and she got the idea obviously from her past experience with customers, but what she is doing is she has a young lady that works with her that's becoming a spokesperson for her store. And I think she's really getting a lot of credibility for having great taste and information. And she is the one that's doing their
Facebook Live
within the store and outside of the store as well. She's doing some really cool things, and they're getting a lot of play out of that. And will it last a long time? Yes, it will last a long time, as long as Facebook is alive. Now, the whole point is that we talked to the lady and we said the danger is that she's so effective in doing it, that everybody's seeing everything that's going in your store. And the mission that now you have got is when they walk in the store, it's got to look different. And so we talked about what she's got to do to stay up with that young lady who's doing this incredible job over on Facebook. And I would guess that's probably the mantra for retailing today for me is, I see what you did for me yesterday, but tell me what you're doing for me today. That's it. And if you can't answer that, we'll be leasing your spot to somebody else. I don't want to be that brutal, but I really, honest to goodness, believe it's going to get that competitive in the marketplace.
And that's good for the customer.
It's great for the customer.
It's great
And that's
for the
why I
customer.
said we're fueling that energy and pushing
Right.
people in the stores now.
Rich, you were talking about how she finds all these great and wonderful things and she's putting them out and people are finding them. She's finding it harder to do that because trade shows have been canceled. But they're starting to make a comeback. America's Mart in Atlanta is going to be happening next month, and so is Dallas Market, and I think Magic is going to happen. And that's, for you guys listening, that's where retailers get a lot of their product. Those are 3 big markets. And Jason announced yesterday that the craft industry big show, the Creativation Show, is going to be happening in January 2021 as usual. So all of those craft retailers that you shop at, we're going to have all the great new product because our show's moving forward.
Wonderful. That's great news.
So you know what? Take the pandemic out. Take the this virus out. There's a lot of exciting things happening at retail. A lot of exciting things happening at retail. So it's being pushed on them, but now they're starting to push back and say, "Let me show you how good we are."
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that I would say every retailer has. Let me show you how good I am.
Our store is open in Illinois tomorrow. All non-essential retailers can open tomorrow, and I can't go shopping. I can't go shopping for like another 2 weeks, so it's killing me.
For a good cause.
Just think
It's for
of all the
good
money you're
cause.
saving.
It's for a good cause.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll have to have you guys back maybe in a couple of months once things progress. And then we can kind of, see how things have gone over the last couple of months and where we are at that time. So, and now we're going to show everybody. We were going to show the video first, but because I had a little bit of technical difficulty, we just went straight to you guys. So I'm going to share the video now with Cindy Ohama. And she is going to teach us about watercolor batik. What's the wax all about? So this is quite neat, and I will be back. So thank you, Kizer Bender and Baum, for being here, and everybody make sure you check out their podcast, and we definitely will put the information about that in our link and share it with you as well. So all right,
Thanks for having us, Audrey.
Thank you,
Audrey.
Audrey.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you. I just have to find Cindy here. She was here. Oh, this, oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
right.
George, do a little soft shoe there, entertain the troops.
It's been interesting here this morning, to tell you the least. I'll tell you, oh, there it is. Here we go. All right. Now. Technology, love it when it works, right? All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Cindy Ohama, and one of the mediums that I work in is watercolor batik, and I absolutely love it. It's a ton of fun. A lot of times people are a little hesitant about the watercolor thing, but this is truly a really relaxing and fun style of painting. But I get the question a lot, what's the wax all about? Because we're using watercolor and wax as a resist. So I'm going to show you why I use the wax. So let's get started and get painting so you can find out some of my little secrets. So there are a few reasons that I wax. For one is protecting areas. So as soon as I put wax down on a piece, it creates a resist. So I've painted the whites of the eyes. So I'm going to go in and start waxing that to protect that area from any other paint that I put on this piece. So what I want to do is I'm going right from my pot of wax that's heated up around 225. It depends on the pot, and they're not that accurate. So what you want to make sure is that the wax is hot enough that the wax will penetrate to the back side of your ginwashi rice paper. By the way, you want to be on parchment paper or wax paper so you won't stick to your paper towel. So do that first. And then what you want to do is have your wax warm enough that it does penetrate, right? So it goes all the way through to the back side of the piece of paper. So once I wax it, I've got the two little eyeballs waxed there. I flip it over and I make sure, if I run my hand underneath, you can kind of see where I've missed the wax. You'll have some areas that you can definitely see the wax is a little bit glossier, and then areas that are matte or untouched with wax. And I just touch up on the back side of the ginwashi rice paper to make sure that both sides of the paper are protected, because the paint can creep in from the back side. Another reason why I wax is to hide accidents. So drips. A lot of times when you're waxing back and forth, what will happen is you end up dropping some wax, so little blobs of wax here and there. So to make sure that that looks like it was done on purpose, what I do is spackle first. You'll see any of these areas that have white little speckles on there. That's the first part that I do before I even start painting. So what I'll do is I'll take that wax, make sure that it's hot, coming right from your pot onto your piece. Don't let your brush hang out in the air, because then it just cools down. You want to go right from your pot, then you're just going to flick just like a cigarette. Or if you can't do that, you can just take another brush and you can just tap off like that as well. Now that I have all those areas waxed, to have the eyeballs and the beak waxed, I don't have to worry so much about getting those areas dirty with the next color of paint. So when I wash, it will be a little bit looser, because that paint just won't stick and penetrate that paper no matter what. So I'm just going to wash that in to show you. See, I can wash right over top of it, and it's not going to penetrate. So it's all protected. Same as the dots. I'm just going to put a wash of color on the background just so you can see how the spots show. So if I decided to do some color in the background, be able to see where those dots are that I spackled as well. Just a quick tip, areas that, let's say you go outside of when you're painting or waxing, either which way. When I waxed, there might be some areas I don't necessarily want there. It is what it is. It's no big deal. I don't get too worked up about it. This big dot here is pretty close to his eye, but it kind of looks cool in the end. I'm all right with that. But not only are there times when wax are going to go outside the lines, but also the paint is going to go outside the lines, like up here on the cup. I wanted to show you how I get rid of them or soften them a little bit. What I would do is just lightly dampen the area, take my finger and just press into the paper underneath, and see how that just leaves the paint behind. So you can do that a few times until it lightens as much as you can get it to. And then when I go to do the background, what I would do is make sure that this area would be one that I would hit with a little bit of color, and that would just disguise it a little bit as well. Another reason why I wax is to get these little cracks in the painting. So if you look in here, there's all these little bits that make this piece look a little bit rough, and most of my boutique paintings have those little bits. So how we do those is we take our painting after everything is completed and painted. I'm going to crumple that up in a ball, and I'm just going to shake off the little bits of wax. Usually I would do this over a garbage can or outside because it's pretty messy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a separate pot. I don't load up my brush on my palette because wax gets into this paint, and I don't want that to be contaminated, my actual palette to be contaminated. So what this is just watered down watercolor paint again. I take a brush that I'm not going to be using for anything other than this as well. And I'm just going to wash a little area in. The brush will get gunked up with wax, and that's why you don't want to use it for anything other than this. So what I do is I put a little wash in there, and I re-crinkle that area. What that does is forces that paint down into the cracks, and then I just dab off to see what's remaining. And we have some little dark cracks in there. So you can put this absolutely anywhere. As much as you want. It's a little unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to end up with, but that's okay. So that's all the little cracks in the painting. So the last part of the painting is removing all of the wax, and that little bit of wax that is left in the paper in the end actually makes all the colors pop really good. So that's the last reason why I use the wax is the colors of the watercolor are nice and bold. So the thing with watercolor is what happens is you paint the piece, it softens a little bit as the paint starts to dry, the color softens, and then we put wax in it, we remove the wax, and then the color starts popping again. So I have my newspaper, I have the paper towel, I have my painting, and then more newspaper on top, and I've got a nice hot iron ready to go. And what I'm going to do is start melting the wax and releasing the wax into the paper towel and into the newspaper. So I'm removing all that wax, soaking it up as much as possible. Tiny bit stays in there, makes it nice and bright. So what I'll do is I'll do the first removal with the paper towel, and then after that, we'll just use newspaper. Oh, look at this. Oh yeah, look at those colors. Look at that pop, so pretty. So then I'll go back in, just with some more newspaper. Releasing it until there's no more wax. Usually I do 2 more layers like this, and then that's good. And then just make sure that you mount on top of white paper, because that's when it pops. So there's that piece done. That's why I use wax in my batik paintings, or why everybody uses wax in their batik paintings. So I hope you enjoyed the demo, and we'll see you again.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you, Cindy. Just great to have her give us a little bit of tidbit information there. She will give part 2 of that in our Pin It Canada live virtual event, which will be on June 12th. So just in regards to that, all the information is up on our website, www.pinitcanada.com. The schedule is up there, and all the presenters and what they're going to be doing, and little bios on them, and also the time. So if there's certain people you want to see and some that you can watch later on video, then you can do that as well. And with that in mind, we've had quite a few people that say that they haven't been able to see some of the Audrey lives, and they will be on our YouTube channel. So I will put the link to that as well. I do have it on our Facebook pages, but I will put it on the bottom of this link as well. And when you go there, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and also click the little bell notification, because then you will get notification anytime one of the videos gets posted there. So all the Audrey lives will be there. Some of the other videos we've done. Also, the Pin It Canada virtual live event will be posted there as well after the event. Again, I wanted to thank Kizer Bender and Baum, and thank you for putting up with a bit of my technical difficulties again. I, of course, was trying something new to try to get more viewers and for people to get notification of it. And just something, we had some sort of a little glitch there, I guess, that I wasn't sharing it with everybody. It was just being shared with one group of people. So we will keep working on this. It's just a work in progress. So, and I'm really glad that you guys tune in and watch afterwards. Of course, we get a lot of people that watch afterwards, and I appreciate that as well. And if you do watch afterwards, make sure you do comment on it, and I will certainly to answer your comments as much as possible, or your questions. Next week, our guest is Natasha Wachier. She has been immersed in the world of design and creation for over 30 years now. And she has produced several magazines, including Lay's Edition and Natasha Creative. She has just launched a new line of products called Natasha Creative, which she will be demonstrating for us next week live here on Audrey Live. So that's Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern on Audrey Live. And hopefully we'll get everybody up and watching live. But I mean, it's not that you have to watch it live, which is wonderful, but also you can watch the recording afterward as well, which will be on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Well, thank you again for a wonderful time with you, and look forward to seeing you next week on Audrey Live. Bye.